Hello and welcome back to the normal time slot for baseball night. Last week we took a draft hiatus. You can watch that on YouTube or listen to it. We were all just happy the Patriots took Drake May. That was the vibe. And we were also so confused at why Tim sat 2 inches from his 65-inch TV. Like he was, watch on YouTube, please. I implore you. He is
No
sitting.
better way. No better way to enjoy that picture.
It's like you got to an opening night of a movie late. I think Jack, you said this, front row
Yeah,
of a movie theater, and it makes no sense. His house is what, 2,000 square feet?
it's big.
So he chose to sit right in front of his TV. It was
It's a big
great.
house.
And we're back to baseball on this podcast. But we are going to start with basketball because the Celtics laid waste to the sad sack Miami Heat last night. Uh, and it was expected. But along with that victory was the last game Mike Gorman is going to ever call up the Boston Celtics. He has called the Celtics for 43 years. You and I have never watched a locally broadcast Celtics game unless something crazy happened where he wasn't the play-by-play guy.
Nope. And it's pretty crazy that I know this year he split the away games, but man, is it going to be weird not having Mike Gorman call that. In the past 10 years, we have, I mean, thank God for Joe Castiglione, but uh Orsillo, Remy, Heinsohn, and Gorman are all gone. I didn't really listen to a lot of Patriots, but I know that team has changed too in the last
Gino
10 years.
Capoletti died. He retired and then died, but he was the guy before Zoe.
Yeah,
And then and we're not hockey guys, but Jack Edwards, who was a Sports
right.
Center
That's
guy,
sad
and
too.
then the Bruins guy, he's sick, I think. He's is
Yeah.
he something's wrong with his voice, and I don't know much of the story, but from what I've heard is they don't really know what's causing it, and it forced him to retire.
Yeah.
So he is, I think the Bruins are up 3-2 in their first round series. So he has one more game because the NHL does the same thing as the NBA where local announcers can do the first round. So if if you yeah, every team has changed and it's really just like it's like it's a childhood passing by, but what's funny is these teams usually last so long that if you think of like our uncles that watch the Celtics, they have only known Gorman since they were in their 30s or late 20s.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just he was the best too. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I
I
was gonna
tweeted
say.
this.
And
Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
you can I was gonna say you can watch the tribute video. That was a little underwhelming, not gonna lie. Um with Mike Breen and Kenny Albert and all the announcers. Mike Gorman, and this is not just me being biased because he's my favorite. Mike Gorman was the best basketball play-by-play announcer to probably ever live. And that's fact that every one of his peers will back up.
He was just so simple. He didn't do anything fancy, and he totally reacted like a guy that grew up in Dorchester and loves the Celtics because he would just be like in awe sometimes when someone made like an awesome play. He like absolutely loved Garnett. He says Pierce is his favorite player, which is crazy because he started with the Bird McHale pair Celtics. Uh yeah, I was gonna say the last game we ever went to, you, Tim, and I went to a crazy Thunder Celtics game, where they lost inexplicably at the end. But we were going to, I believe, night shift to have a couple cocktails and some burgers or whatever before the game. And we're walking right by there, and Mike Gorman walks by. And you were the first to notice. And me and Tim hear you say, "Good luck today, sir," to someone. And we were like, "What?" That's like, then we're like, "Oh my God, it's Mike Gorman." And he just says, "Thanks. What are you guys up to today? Drinking or going to the game?" And we said, "Haha, like What a great canned line. We were like a little bit of both, and he was like, "Have fun, be safe," and it was like, he could have just like nodded.
Yeah.
It was all of 15 seconds, but it was like he knows his
R-
status.
Reaffirmed everything we thought about him.
Exactly. We were just like, yes, he is the man.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I
so
think he
good.
lives in one of those towers next to the garden too. So he literally walks
Oh
50
yeah.
feet to work, and it's good for him. I'm gonna miss hearing him call games. It's
And
I
they got a
will.
young guy who is split in our group text. I'm fine with. I think he's younger and we're not used to him. I do hope that this was like a tester and they shift Grandy over.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think they
I
will.
like
I
Randy.
actually
I like
think
Randy too, but I don't know.
I just but maybe Grandy's like, no, I like radio. I like to do it on the radio. That might be his thing. So that's fine. So yeah, Mike Gorman, great for him. It's awesome that he gets to retire, and hopefully he just gets to sit courtside as the Celtics win the NBA championship this year.
Yeah, that would
So,
be fun.
and
Also,
I was thinking yesterday, like, if they won, like him at the parade would be the best.
yeah,
His name on like a duck boat, people would go crazy.
yeah, a championship ring too. He'd get in his last year. That'd be sick.
Yeah, he was wearing his '08 one last night. I noticed in his goodbye.
I can I'll watch that Pierce Al Harrington highlight
Ah, it's the
like
best.
maybe once a quarter just to just to
And he
brush up
means
and
he means that Celtics quarters. He just every time he's watching a Celtics game, he's like, "Oh, let me fire this up." The second quarter,
yeah.
I'm gonna fire this up.
But when in
Yeah.
like all the tribute stuff that was going on, Pierce knows it by heart. Pierce knows the call by heart, and I think that's the
Oh
best
yeah.
part of the entire thing.
I remember Pierce talking to Tommy and Mike after his last game where he hit the three for the Clippers,
Hmm.
and he was just like, "You guys are the best. Like, you stuck with me. It was the best." And so, yeah,
Very.
crazy that it's an end of an announcing era for us.
Yep. Like I said, thank goodness for Joe Castiglione.
Which, I mean, Hall of Famer. He's going in this July, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
last game I heard, I when I was mowing the lawn here this weekend, I would listen to the game and they had somebody from the Hall of Fame on, who used to work for the Red Sox. And it's yeah, he's the Ford Frick winner. So congratulations, Joe C.
Yeah, and Gorman is a Hall of Famer, so great segue into the Red Sox, Jack. How to really make that work? You're really figuring this out. We might even let you host a podcast someday. You have to figure out the subject.
Wrestling. It's gonna be
Uh,
wrestling.
all right.
I haven't opened that umbrella yet.
It is May 2nd as we record. To finish April, the Red Sox finished 17-13. On May 1st, Jack, they put their 16th person on the IL and
Mm,
Masataka Yoshida.
mm,
Here's
mm,
what I
mm.
have to say after 1 month. I'm so in, baby.
Oh yeah.
I listen, it doesn't take a lot yearly to suck me in and make me like a team, but here's the deal. We've talked about this. They got rid of guys we weren't big fans of. Two my two of my current three favorite players on the team are on the IL and one was hurt. But didn't go in Devers. Didn't go on the IL. Bayo hurt. Casas hurt. So what happens? Cutter Crawford and Tanner Houck just are like, we got this. We figured it out. We are just not going to let up runs. We figured out pitching. We're not going to let up runs. And then Wilyer Abreu all of a sudden is Mickey Mantle. He's just making plays out there. He's roping the ball. Cedane Rafaela might be starting to figure stuff out. Tyler O'Neill can't stop hitting home runs, just all around the board in. I don't have to like ownership, but I like the players on the team.
Yeah. I think my reaction to April is a little different. Mine is more what just happened kind of deal because they pitched well, they can hit, they can't field, and somehow they're still 4 games above 500. A 5 now because they won last
Mm-hmm.
night. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm a big fan of it. It like you when you said it doesn't take a lot to rope you in. I just need solid pitching, and that's exactly what this team is. This team is built on just guys who go out and give you 5 to 6 tough innings. In Tanner Houck's case, he'll give you 7 to 9, and he is. And as good as Cutter Crawford has been, #2 in the pitching rankings, neverwears.com. Go ahead and check that out. Um, as good as Cutter Crawford's been, Tanner Houck looks like a legitimate ace. Like Tanner Houck looks like the pitcher me and you hoped Brian Bayo would be. Like Tanner Houck is a legitimate #1 starter, and he can be at this point for anybody in the majors because of how good his stuff is early in the season.
It's funny. He was the talk of the Sunday night game, and he lived up to it. That does sometimes it's like everyone gets excited about someone, and then all of a sudden they go on national TV and get lit up by a decent Guardians team. No, he shut him down, and he got screwed by Chris Martin out of a victory.
Yeah,
This is
they're a
why,
good Guardians team.
yeah, this is why in recent years I have shifted a little bit away from pitcher wins as a barometer for me, because or all people, because you're gonna knock Tanner Houck for not getting that win. Chris Martin
I
comes
don't
in,
think
lets up
it's a
two
knock.
guys, and hits a home run.
I mean,
No, I know.
I see the argument, but at the same time, I just don't. I don't. It's not a knock against Tanner Houck if he doesn't get the loss. He just has a no decision. There's no knock there.
Yeah, but then in 10 years, it's like, oh yeah, he only had 116 wins. It's like,
I
but
don't think that's. Well, I mean, that's only if it ever comes up that he's a Hall of Famer.
totally, totally. I'm just saying that's why like that argument is there, because it's like, how many random April games did a Chris Martin come in and blow it? That's all I'm
I
saying.
get it.
But um there it's yeah, I agree. Totally agree with you in the what just happened. Mainly, I meant to pull this up earlier. I saw a
So many
tweet
people are
from,
hurt too. Like it's
yeah,
so wild.
let me look up this tweet that I saw last night. It's a crazy, so the run prevention unit is insane. Um, but what's also crazy is, okay, so this was halfway through the game last night. This is from Red Sox stats on X. The Red Sox as a team are hitting 299, 380, 500 with 62 runs scored over their last 10 and a half games. That's over 430 plate appearances.
Damn.
A 17-0 win on Saturday helps that, but you still got to score the 17 runs. And it's not just the run prevention unit. They can swing it.
Yeah.
Jarren Duran is tied for first in triples. He had a couple bad games, maybe like a week and a half down stretch, and now he's back.
Triples is safe. Triples is best.
What do you mean?
It's from I Think You Should Leave.
Oh.
The Bob Odenkirk sketch. But yeah, Duran is filthy. And him leading off, like I like how Lou Merlone says he's an angry lizard when he runs, because he just hauls ass. And we've talked about it before, but he is a perfect table setter. He had well, we took last week off or did another sport. He was in a real bad slump that dropped him down to like 240. He's already back up to 280. Like he can flat out hit. And when he gets on the bases, he's the most dangerous person in the major leagues on the bases, not named Ellie De La Cruz.
He, yeah, and Merloni also said last night, is like he is rounded into to a real leadoff guy because
Yeah.
he fell behind in an at bat, battled, and took a walk. And it's like, yes, now you have the fastest guy on your team on first base, and something can
That
happen.
so that is true because he has done that because last year there were a lot of strikeouts. I mean, at this point, he plays so hard, I just want him to stay healthy. Like
Yeah.
he's balling out so hard that I need him to stay there. Because right now he's like I said, he's the perfect table setter, and the guys behind him are like putting it together. Especially Abreu. Like Wilyer Abreu has been, you know what that's reminded me of? It's like years ago when Michael Brantley got hurt and everybody was like, who's gonna fill Michael Brantley's role? And Jose Ramirez just came out of nowhere. Like
Mm-hmm.
that is what I see with Wilyer Abreu. Not a switch hitter, but just still like plays solid to above average defense in a hard right field to play. Like he's made a couple of like ballsy catches going right back against that weird curve in right field. And
Yeah, some of
uh
those, if like you fall or
yeah, dude,
slide and miss it, depending on
that
the
fence
runner, that could
goes
be all the way.
he's he's not a very tall dude, but that looks like it goes right above his knees, that fence, which would be a hard fall into the first row in right field.
Yeah.
Um, but then hitting, like, dude, he's been on fire. He's seeing it like a beach ball. It seems like even when he's making outs, they're loud lineouts to second or right field.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Yeah.
like you touched on earlier, a guy I wasn't 100% sold on, who it's May 2nd as we record this. And I maybe temper down the home run derby talk for Tyler O'Neill. But
Hey,
as
I
for
put
right
that in the
now,
latest series recap on neverwords.com.
but but for right now, I mean, he has the perfect swing for Fenway Park.
It's
It's tailor made.
he was in a park that suppresses home runs in St. Louis, and now he's in a right-handed guy with pop dream park.
Yeah. You know how San Francisco has splash hits? I feel like we should get a parking lot hit thing on the Monster.
That's good. Yeah.
That's a good bomb. I mean, that's a Manny Ramirez bomb. And I
Yeah.
think that should be appreciated more because I know it's only 310 to the Monster, but across that street, if you're hitting it over the Sausage King or the Sausage Guy, you're
Yeah.
that's a real tater. But anyways, exciting lineup to watch the whole way through. Again, defensively, they can be a little sloppy. When they don't make errors, they win games. It's literally as simple as that.
So the interesting thing, actually, as I was looking for that tweet, I saw that the Red Sox added Nick Short, infielder Nick Short, to the major league roster today and dropped Emmanuel Valdez
Oh,
back
okay.
down to Lister.
Dropped him. Oh, okay. I
Oh,
was gonna
sorry,
say,
sorry.
um,
Uh,
optioned
Assigned him
him.
to
Is it
option. Yeah.
Nick Short or Zach Short?
Did I say
I
Nick?
don't, yeah.
It's Zach Short. Why did I say
Okay.
Nick?
I don't know.
I'm not. Hmm.
Shout out to Nick G.
So yeah, sure. Uh, the run prevention unit, Jack, which is it's funny that they say that, and it's sort of sticking around, but they led April with a 2.62 ERA. The next closest was Seattle, who is filthy as well at pitching, with a 3.03. That's almost half a run better than the next closest team.
Um,
That's it. That's insane.
there
The
have
only
been
only the Phillies had a higher Fangraphs WAR as a team.
wow.
Well, they strike out a ton of people. Phillies are
You mean
rolling. We're
pitching?
gonna
You
get
mean
to
like
them.
the pitching staff or the
Yeah.
whole team? Oh,
No,
okay.
the pitching staff strikes out a ton
Okay,
of
okay.
people.
Yeah, they do. They got some
They
real
have an
fireballers.
omission from the uh pitcher power rankings.
Well, his 3.90 ERA would disagree with you.
It
But
was 260.
what was it? Um anyways,
Looking at
uh
our text.
they have been good to great. There have been very few instances where it didn't look like a pitcher had the upper hand in an at bat. Like there have been bad, I mean, pitchers have been, hit around. I think they DFA'd Joely Rodriguez, who was um a real sore spot when he came out of the bullpen. It just didn't look like he was operating on the same level as everybody else there. And even guys who have been hit hard still haven't been scored on, like except for that game you were talking about with Chris Martin and a couple of games from Kenley Jansen. But even since then, he's started to get back on track.
Yeah. It there's you Rodriguez cleared waivers, so he's actually he's at Worcester now.
Oh, okay. So,
But I agree. Now we're at a point where I'm not worried when someone goes into pitch.
no.
There's not a name where I'm like, oh, here we go. This is going to be the one that, uh, struggles, because everyone, I'm like Justin Slayton is nasty. He
Yeah.
is awesome out of the bullpen.
Yeah,
And then Chris
I'm
Martin's the
confused
one. Okay, Chris Martin's the one where right now I'm like, eesh.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough though. I feel like Chris Martin still has all-star stuff in there, but he's
Mm,
just getting hit hard. Like even Cutter Crawford got hit a bit last night. Um hard too, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, Justin Slayton right now has a 1.1 WAR out of the bullpen.
and honestly, not that many appearances. How many appearances does he have?
He's pitched in 10 games. He's got
Oh,
17.1 innings.
wow, he has 2 wins. I didn't know he
Yeah.
picked up 2 wins. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, this is
It,
the guy that you and I have been asking for the past few years. Give me a flamethrower coming out of the bullpen.
mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what Justin Slayton is.
Against the Guardians Sunday night, I think he closed it out. And I saw on Twitter, he threw 3 four-seam fastballs over the plate. 3 strikeouts. There are 3 swings and misses. See you later. It's as Eck would say, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, their whole bullpen has been good, but it's built off how good the starters have been. Now, Tom touched on it just a little bit with Masataka Yoshida. If they could go ahead and stop getting hurt, like not even just the pitchers, if the position players could also stop getting hurt, that would be excellent. That's my only anecdote there. I would just like them to stop getting hurt.
So, yeah, and Garrett Whitlock is actually eligible to come back today. I just don't know. He hasn't thrown off the mound yet as of the 28th. So he's probably
Wow.
not
You said
close.
16, and there are people I forgot about. I forgot Garrett Whitlock was in there. Garrett Cooper, who they tried to solve a first base issue with, got smashed in the wrist on his third at bat.
Yeah. Now they have Dom Smith.
Dominic Smith played last night. I had missed the signing, and they showed him right before first pitch, right before it was Cutter Crawford started the game last night. They showed a picture of Dominic Smith at first, and I said to my son, I said, "Hey, Dominic Smith." I had no idea they signed him.
It was yesterday. I think they just did it.
Okay. He must have been close to get
Dominic
to the
Smith
ballpark.
opts out of Ray's deal. Will sign with Red Sox. MLB trade rumors May 1st.
There you go. And that was efficient. He must have been playing. I don't know if they were playing in Worcester or what happened there.
Let's
But
see.
yeah, I like Garrett Cooper. I like that. I like anybody who can play major league style first base. It's not Bobby Dahlbeck. It's
Mm,
just not Bobby D.
yeah, I just don't get like when is it gonna when's it gonna end? When is it gonna be like when he's out of it's gonna be when he's out of options, right? And he's batting
I
093,
I
152, 116.
so I don't know. I mean, if this is one of those deals where I think I said it here before, where every time you trot him out there, you just nuke his trade value.
Yeah, I'm at the point where it's gonna be
A
I
DFA. It
think
has to be a DFA.
yeah, and I think the next move for Bobby Dahlbeck is Bobby Dahlbeck has signed a minor league contract with such and such team.
Yeah. Which is too bad. He showed a lot of promise. And when he's in AAA, he crushes the ball.
He has one option left, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing here.
It sucks for him too, because it's such a big stage to fail like this on. Like
Yeah.
it's such a big market and such a huge fan base. Like you type his name into Twitter or Reddit or something like that, you're gonna get nothing but negative comments.
Something. He got figured out so hard in the shortened COVID season. He 263, 8 home runs, then he hit 25 the next year, and then it has fallen. Like
Yeah,
they found
man.
out he can't hit certain types of pitches, maybe all of them, and he's just not it. And it shows that they signed Dom Smith and he was playing first base the same day. Other than that, it said Nick Pivetta was supposed to have a rehab assignment today. Do we know if this is happening today?
I don't know, but Josh Winkowski's starting today in the getaway day against Cleveland. Or excuse me, who are they playing?
They're playing the today.
Yeah.
They're playing that team from the National League that I'm blanking on.
Yeah. Why can't I remember who they're playing? The Giants, the San Francisco
Ugh,
Giants.
that's why. Yeah. So
Oh,
Jack, if you got time today, maybe grab a ticket, watch Nick Pivetta pitch at Worcester.
is he pitching in Worcester today?
Mm-hmm.
What time?
Oh, with Worcester. I don't know if they're at home. Telegram's not giving me much
How,
info.
I mean, how, how does that help me?
Yeah, they're at Polar Park.
Okay. I haven't been yet this year. Um, which is strange.
So I
But
guess the other thing that we haven't talked about, speaking of injured players, is did you hear the report of Casas that the doctor told him basically the injury he sustained is seen in car crashes
I have
because
not heard that.
he tore rib cartilage because he's turning so violently on his swings.
Well, then that might be an issue going forward, which I'm not thrilled about.
Just have
Um,
multivitamin.
I haven't done the extrapolation, Tom, but he was on pace to have a real banger of a year. Um, like I said about Abreu, that he's making hard outs. There was a time when his batting average is low because he just hits lasers directly at the second baseman or first baseman all the time. He's always on everything. He has such a good understanding of the zone. I'm so bummed out. I mean, I don't think we recorded since he got hurt, right? Or the baseball version,
Maybe
because it was
not.
draft week. I'm crushed. He
Yeah,
was,
it
and I
sucks.
saw. I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was. It was either Red Seat Radio or Over the Monster, and I'm sorry for not identifying whoever it was correctly. But they said that he was the main character of the 2024 season, and I had never thought of him that way. until it was said like that, and they were absolutely right. Him taking a step forward into being one of the best overall hitters in the league was happening right before our eyes. And now it looks like he's not going to be back until hopefully the middle of the summer.
Yeah. I it it actually it just leads right into a theme perfectly of guys that are hurt that really bummed us out because Mike Trout is out also
Oh,
again. I mean, I am it it's one of those things. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He has 3 MVPs. Could have 5 except Miguel Cabrera was levitating above other players at the plate for 2 years. he he tore his meniscus, and I read an article that night after you texted me. I had no idea. I'm just doing stuff around the house, working, like consumed by.
I dropped a bomb in your
And
inbox.
it seriously was like, what the fuck? And here it's like, here we go again. And he said, the article said he did it trotting back to the dugout after he was a force out at second base. And it's just shit like this. It's like, why couldn't it have been at least he slid into second and the guy fell on him? No, I was watching the play. He slid into second base, slid 20 feet before the base because he was out. And you just do that to get out of the way of the throw, jogging back. Then he comes back. He gets a hit or he walks. He's on first base later in the game and he steals a base and then scores from second.
Yeah.
And then the next day, torn meniscus. And honestly, I know people are now like, this guy sucks, which is just not true. He's always hurt. He can't stay on the field. Did you see his interview?
Yeah, he was crushed.
He legitimately was just talking and his voice broke. It sucks. It sucks because the story of 2024 so far is really good players getting hurt, especially pitchers. But now you have we're homers, but Casas, Trout. I feel like there was one more now. I can't remember, but it sucks. And I hope no other good hitter gets hurt. I hope Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, even though I hate the Yankees, play the whole year.
Yeah, of course. Don't want to see him get hurt. We just hope that they tank.
Right. Trout had 3 at the time of his injury at the end of April. Trout had 3 less home runs than the entire Chicago White Sox team.
They're really gross to watch.
He was on pace for 30-30 again. And
so can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because I need to challenge you here, Tom. That's what it's about. It's about challenging you. What is the difference between Jacob DeGrom and Mike Trout in your head that you can't give Jacob DeGrom any credit for not staying healthy, but you give Mike Trout the benefit of the benefit of the Trout?
Good question.
Better
Good
pun.
question. Great pun. I would say 10 years of being healthy and dominating baseball.
Okay. I mean, DeGrom came in 2014 and has pretty much dominated in the same fashion. And then fell off on 2020, the same year Trout did. Since 2020, Trout and DeGrom have pretty much had very similar injury history.
Okay. That's a fair point. But I just 3 MVPs. I don't know.
Cy Youngs?
You make a good point. But
Tom, who would
I
have
don't know.
thought Tom Brown hates pitching? Who would have thought?
No, that's a good point. You got me there. I don't have an answer for you. That's a great point. I just think what I think it is, Jack, is the way Trout burst on the scene and was legitimately an MVP candidate his first full season.
Sure.
And you go through his seasons 2011 through 2019 before COVID and then all the injuries really piled up. You're talking inner circle possibility Hall of Fame career. And with DeGrom
has 10 years in the major leagues and a 2.5 ERA.
yes.
We're not going to get.
Agreed.
We've already discussed this in podcasts. We touched on it earlier. Nobody is going to get to 300 wins again. Maybe Verlander, maybe if he sticks around for another 5 seasons.
Yeah, and he's already 40.
The wins
so
aren't there
that's-
anymore. So your collection stats or your what do you call it? Accumulation stats for
Yeah,
Hall of Fame numbers are not the same as pitchers, except for
totally.
ERA. 10 years, 2.53. That's as inner circle as it gets, man.
Yeah. True. The difference is like if when you look at ERA in 2021, he couldn't accumulate more ERA because he started 15 games. You know?
Sure.
No, Jack, I'm just saying, I know we're arguing about this here, and I'm saying if Mike Trout had like a 390 batting average, but then you looked at it and you were like, well, he had 150 at bats, but that reflects onto his overall ERA because he couldn't accumulate more. You've got me here. I don't have a reason why I think Trout is a no doubt Hall of Famer, and I don't know if DeGrom would get there. Do you think your buds over at the BBWAA would look at this baseball reference page for Jacob DeGrom and go, "Yep, he's in"?
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd take the entirety of his eligibility, where Trout would get in on the first ballot. But
Right.
I do think DeGrom will be a Hall of Famer. Yes.
Interesting. I just don't. I feel like people. I don't know why, and this is the point you're making, which is a great point. Why the pre-injury part of DeGrom's career doesn't quite stack up to the pre-injury part of Trout's career, but I think that's just like a consensus.
I can tell you exactly why.
Go ahead.
Because he played on shit Mets teams that didn't score him any runs. If he had 20 wins those years, or if he wasn't 10-9 and 11-8, we'd be talking about it.
Right,
Would be
and those
talking
were
about
Cy Young
every
winning
day that
years.
exactly Cy Young winning. I mean, he went 10-9 with a 1.7 ERA.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that 2018 year, and it's absurd. And honestly, let's do a right-click, open link, a new tab here. Yeah, let's be honest, Jack. The shitty team probably cost him the MVP. Because I mean, Nolan Arenado, 297, 374, 561, great, but it was still in Colorado. 38 home runs was ahead of him. Christian Yelich won the batting title, had the highest OPS at exactly 1,000. That's a fantastic year, but if we're talking advanced metrics here, DeGrom had a 9.9 WAR, almost 3 WAR higher than Yelich. So that should have probably been an MVP Cy Young year. But here's the deal. I know this is very old school baseball writer, so you're gonna like it. Like like Babe Ruth didn't get in on the first or didn't get in unanimously, so that's why like people wouldn't vote the unanimous for until Mariano Rivera, which is just bullshit. It's complete bullshit.
Because people made a mistake once.
Yes, exactly. So if 99 and 2000 Pedro aren't going to win MVP and Cy Young, no one should.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
but I mean, Verlander and Kershaw did and should have, because if you put up a 1.7 ERA over 32 starts, you should probably be the MVP winner.
Yeah, just a bomb
And
at
Jack,
269.
what
He didn't even strike out the
is
most guys.
that an argument against? Pitcher wins.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. But that was my point overall. Is that's
No,
why
so
the
it's
pre-injury DeGrom isn't talked about like pre-injury Trout. Since 2020, they've both missed probably the same portion of the season. I mean, and when they go, this is the worst part, Tom. This is the worst part. When they go on the DL, it's not like they're having down years. They're both dominating.
yeah. Yeah. No, you come in here and you just get me. You got me on the Mike Trout, the pre-injury Mike Trout versus the pre-injury DeGrom. I sit here as a man with no answer, and you might have changed my mind, except I still kind of don't feel like that. I don't know. I'm
Trout
gonna need
has Trout has 2012 and 2013 on DeGrom, where he was already a all-star center fielder being talked about as one of the best players in the game. I think he won his first MVP in 2013. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But
14.
no, because that okay, so yeah.
13,
was the
12
Miguel
and 13
Cabrera,
were the
yeah.
Miggy back-to-back
Yeah.
years.
So I mean, but so he had two top 3 MVP seasons before that. So he's been producing, and hitting stats are way sexier. 378 home runs looks better than a 253 ERA.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and if you look at the totality of pre-injury Mike Trout, which also is 3 more years, so I'll give you that, but actually kind of ridiculous if you think it's only 3 more years. If you look at the Baseball Reference WAR between DeGrom's pre-injury years and Trout's pre-injury years, 32 for DeGrom, 72 for Trout.
Yeah, that's center field though. That's playing center.
Yeah, definitely that adds.
Steals too.
Yeah, totally. Like you said, it's sexier to have the hitting stats. But
you know, Tom, it's just something I just wanted to throw in there. You know, I hear
10
it.
worst seasons is just not. He had a 10 war season, didn't win the goddamn MVP. Wake up, you old
talk
farts.
about that talk about old school versus new school. 10 war versus a triple crown.
I remember a conversation we had in 2012 via text, because I don't know where in the world you were living at that point. Was that New Orleans?
2012? Yeah, probably.
I texted you, if Mike Trout doesn't win the MVP, baseball is stupid. And then like we got to mid-September and I was like, holy shit, Miguel Cabrera might hit for the Triple Crown. That would do it. Because that's where my mind was. And now I'm like, where is I don't know how to say if you lead the league in batting average, home runs, and RBI, if it's better than like
we're wild
having a higher WAR and 49 steals, 30 home runs. It's just crazy to think of. Had a 326. Jesus Christ, those two. What a year for the Red Sox to be their absolute worst ever with Bobby Valentine, for us just to have MLB Network and watch Miguel Cabrera and Mike Trout. Wild.
I try to block that out, Tom. Just tell you what.
No, I'm just saying, like, what a time to be alive watching those guys play baseball.
It was great. I mean, listen, Both are great. It's just weird that you give preferential treatment to your boy Trout.
Jack, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. As I've said, this was a great point by you. I have never thought that. I guess I didn't put together that DeGrom was good for like 6 years there. I thought he was just like had like 2 really great years. But those before his back-to-back Cy Youngs, he was incredible.
Yeah,
You're right. You got a good point.
thank you.
Mark it down, May 2nd. Jack made a good point. All right. We'll wrap up here. There are 3 teams right now that are just smoking hot. Let's
Mhm.
start with the first team. Oh, here we go. Here's a trivia question for you. What team was the first team to reach 20 wins this year?
The first team to reach 20 wins this year. Oh man, it was either Atlanta or Cleveland.
The Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh wow.
Yep. They were the first to reach because since like mid-April, they have. Is this gonna work? Hold on. The whole like command
They're
shift.
10-6 in their last. And I'm sorry. What are their last 10? They're 7-3 over their last 10.
Yeah, but since they were 8-8 in mid-April, they have gone 13-3 and are now 21-11. That's math on the podcast on the fly.
I tell you what, Tom, they're a good team. We knew about that. We knew they were a good playoff team from last year. Don't let them get this hot though. Can't be letting them get this hot.
Especially with the Braves, not the deepest pitching staff, still probably the best team, but not the deepest pitching staff in that division. Like the Phillies,
get what's happening.
Ranger Suarez has taken a jump, and then you have Nola and Zach Wheeler. They're pitching
I believe.
their butts off.
Ranger Suarez was in the top 10 pitcher power rankings because he's having a hell of a year early on. And I think I say in that article or in that power rankings, don't let the Phillies get hot. You don't want to be the Atlanta Braves in winning percentage. The Atlanta Braves haven't even lost double-digit games yet. I mean, granted, there's been some rainouts, but they're really good. But if you're Atlanta, I don't want to play in Philly in October. You have to win the division, and you can't let Philly get this hot to start.
They are currently, as we sit here today, the Phillies own this Braves team in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how far back we want to go on that because I think it's only been, well, yeah, they played 2 series. Sure, 3 years ago, the Braves won the World Series, but they didn't have to go through the Phillies. Right now, the Braves need to get over the Phillies hump.
Mm-hmm. And going to Philadelphia because they lose the division to the Phillies is not going to help that at all.
You don't want 6-7 or like game 5 or 4-5. Wait, no. How's that first
1,
round
2,
series work?
3, 4, 5.
Yeah, so
6,
5.
yeah.
Yeah. But the Phillies playing fantastic baseball right now, along with, you might not be staying up late for this, America, but check out the Pacific Northwest because the Mariners are on fire again. Actually, yeah, they started off really bad. They were 5-8 at one point, and now they've climbed back on top of the division and are 17-14.
I mean, I still don't understand what's happening in Houston. The 10-win Houston Astros, I just don't get it.
They just sent Jose Abreu, former MVP, to rookie ball, to like their spring training facility.
Woof, to make room for a prospect. Yeah. I think that as it stands right now, only the Rockies, the Marlins, and the White Sox have less wins than the Astros. So the Mariners have all the chance in the world to win this division. The Rangers haven't started out that hot either. I don't think the Athletics. I mean, the Athletics and the Mariners are both 7-3 over the last 10. I don't know that the Athletics are going to keep it up. They're definitely better than I thought they were. But the Mariners pitching,
everyone thought they were.
Yeah, but the Mariners pitching, Tom. I mean, if it wasn't for the Boston Red Sox, we'd be pounding the desk here saying they're the best staff in all of baseball. And it's only because Andrew Bailey's run prevention unit has been so good that we're not saying that. But I know it's May, but we just talking about the playoffs. Do you want this rotation in a 5 or 7 game series? No,
You do not.
way.
Games 1
No
through
way.
3 are going to be Castillo, Kirby, and what's Gilbert.
Yep.
And then, not to mention, Bryce Miller. What is it?
Bryce Miller.
Yeah, Bryce Miller is figuring stuff out and now is dominant. It's, again, like the last 3 years, because this is year 3 of a good competitive Seattle team. Jerry DiPoto, as a non-Mariners fan, but who likes the vibes of the Mariners, go get someone who can hit.
Yeah. I mean, Bryce Miller, yeah. Oh, well, I mean, so yes, they have, but they do have a clear superstar. Granted, he only has 1 home run and he's kind of off to a slow start, but they have the guy. They have the guy everybody wants to build their team around.
100%. But I guess we could go right back to the subject of the last topic. Having the guy doesn't perpetuate postseason
but they're
success.
getting some people here. I mean, Josh Rojas has come on pretty strong early on, and Cal Raleigh is raking. 6 homers and 13 RBIs. And then Mitch Haniger, your guy, Tom.
Yeah.
You're a Mitch Haniger guy.
I think I don't think you have too much of a problem with him if he's on your team.
But I'm going to tell you what, looking at their batting, you're right. They could add a bat. They could add a bat.
Listen.
And they're pretty good. They're pretty savvy around the deadline. So they could get something done. But you're right. They need a bat there. They need another bat.
This is a personal, and this is something that like I truly believe in, which is strange. But if I watch a baseball game, if it's not going to, or basketball, or if there's not like a superstar or like awesome pitching, if it looks like shit, I like lose interest. I'm like, ugh, I don't need to watch the Pelicans against the Clippers when the Clippers don't have anyone.
I was going to say the best comparison I can make is if you ever catch a mid-major game on a Saturday afternoon.
You're just like, you're not getting me.
Basketball or football, you're just like, all right, what are we trying to do here, guys?
So my point here is random. I think the Mariners' collection of options as uniforms are the best in all of sports.
Wow.
Their Griffey Blues are fantastic. They have Jack, you got to look it up. They have an alternate cream uniform with like this vibrant blue hat with the S logo. They look so cool.
So,
and that's just a thought I have on the Mariners.
That is one of the boldest claims I've ever heard. But I don't know, man. We're going to have to open that up for debate. We're going to have our listeners sound off on that, because in all of sports, you're saying.
I know there are people like the classic looks. Like, I'm all about the Red Sox home whites with the red lettering.
The Red Sox wouldn't win that. The Red Sox wouldn't win that. Yeah.
I love the look of the Cubs home pinstripes. Great.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying in the alternates, in the world of you're going to wear something cool every night. Like you're playing a dynasty on a video game and you get to select a different jersey every night.
Yeah.
That's not a bad call. That's not a bad call, but I'm gonna have to do some research here. Off the top of my head, I feel like the Phoenix Suns have some really fun options. I like that color scheme.
Okay.
Um, in the NFL, I'm gonna have to get back to you because I think there's some cool stuff in the NFL.
I mean, obviously, the one that we would gravitate to for NFL options is Pat Patriot red jerseys. Obviously,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
any in a
saying
franchise, Pat Patriot Red
collection.
Jer- Yeah, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get it. You're talking about old school, new school, alternates for baseball, the City Connect stuff. I know what you're saying.
Not my favorite City Connect. I'll give you that.
I like their City Connect, but I think when they mismatch them, but I like their City Connect. It's a lot.
So
It's a little vintage, like the
another team
Pilots.
that I find pleasing to the eye is the hottest team in baseball right now, and that's 10 straight wins for the Minnesota Twins. I think I have something about white and blue, cream and blue mixture. They have those
Yeah,
Twin Cities.
yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, it's just, but the Twins are on fire.
They've
And
won their last 10 games. Or excuse
yeah,
me, they've probably won their last 11 games.
six. Oh, hold on. They were 8-13 and they're 17-13 now. So do that
No,
math.
they were 7-13 because
Seven
they've won their
thirteen.
last
Yeah.
10. Yeah.
Yeah. 10. Yep.
Okay. So we both, I think, I don't know if I pick the Royals or the Twins, but I think we both classified as the Twins pretty much far and above in this division. The Guardians have played very well to start. And I've been saying since preseason not to sleep on the Kansas City Royals. But look the fuck out, AL Central, because the Minnesota Twins finally woke up and they are nasty and they're going to get Royce Lewis back eventually.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
And they're
Pablo
pitching
Lopez is
out of
a
their minds.
legit ace.
Exactly.
He is so good. They just got Johan Duran back, and Jack, I did the thing I hate most when it comes to fantasy sports, and I didn't set my lineup.
Oh, Tom, I still have Tristan Casas in. So don't I
I
know.
I was looking up players to pick, and then something got busy at work, and I forgot that I had the tab open. So I had Bayo in, didn't put Bailey Ober, who's been on fire, didn't put him in, and I have Duran on my bench. But that's besides the point. No one cares about our fantasy football teams. The
Baseball.
fantasy baseball or football.
That's true. No.
It's just a collection of guys, though.
Yeah, I mean, Pablo Reyes has turned it on. Like you said, Tom is right. He is a legitimate ace. His 2-2 record and 4.83 ERA. Don't tell the whole story of how good he's been over his last 3 starts. And then Duran coming back, he just throws 105 miles an hour with movement. Joe Ryan is a good pitcher.
Again, it's not only a collection of guys, it's a collection of guys who won the league last year and are just playing good baseball. Give me a healthy Byron Buxton the whole year.
Yeah.
Let me see him have 500 at bats.
He's up there. He's just one of those guys where he didn't have the earlier success that Trout had, but it's like, just stay healthy and you're going to have like an MVP caliber year. He's so good. I mean, nothing's standing out. Like Edward Julian has 7 home runs, but he's batting .216. No one's like, there's no MVP caliber player right now on the team. Ryan Jeffers is probably their best hitter so far. 300, 390, 556 with 5 home runs. 172 OPS. So like, yes, he's their best hitter. It's just
Correa just came off the DL.
Yeah. It really is a collection of guys that are just good.
Royce Lewis's expected return is no sooner than June? What happened?
I don't know. That guy can't catch a break. Talk about
severe right quad strain. That's just what That's what his injury list says. Severe right quad strain.
Now, if I go back, as someone that feels like they strained a quad once, running the 100-yard dash in gym class, and then was too afraid to tell my head football coach that I really hurt both my quads because the other one started hurting shortly after for compensation. It sucks. In running Pucko's sprints with 2 strained quads was the worst thing in the world. And you know what?
Running sprints in pads is, I mean, if you haven't done it, I'm here to tell you, you don't need to. It sucks.
I was also just the guy that the scout team pushed around at the tight end position. So I could have easily been replaced and I could have nursed those,
Yeah.
but that was dumb.
But you're a gamer, you know? What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
You
they
love
need to
you love the game.
put that helmet cap on me and say, hey, 6'7" Josh Dresch, just push him really hard. He would always give me the pop. And I'm like, can I line up against like George, who's just gonna like put his hand on me and like walk through?
Yeah.
Oh man. Good old days. But Twins playing really good. Jack, there's nothing to look forward to this weekend. Nothing can top it because the Dodgers are playing the Braves.
Okay. I was gonna say the Twins are the hottest team in baseball, are playing our favorite team, so I'll be watching that. But
Yeah, but get your sleep.
no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Dodgers and Braves for sure. They're in LA. Let's see what we got for matchups. Gavin Stone versus Charlie Morton on Friday. Bryce Elder versus #1 ranked pitcher, according to me this year, Tyler Glasnow.
That's a good matchup.
And Fried versus Paxton. Oh
yeah, that's some good ones.
Yeah, that is very good. So yeah, that's you're right. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what, I watch a lot of baseball and I love it. I love watching the recap rundown. I love watching the big inning. Playoff basketball has stolen a lot of my viewership, but I'm not going to watch one single inning of Miami versus Oakland this weekend.
Oh, what? The surprising athletics? No.
They're not
Miami
surprising
has
enough, Tom.
Miami, I'll tell you right now, is just dealing with a karma thing. They got rid of Kim Yang. Sorry. I think that's it. Yang.
Ing.
And for no reason, she built a playoff team in 2 years. And then they were like, we want you to stay here. We're just going to demote you. This is all karma. This is a bad look. And for them to come out and play like shit, it's like, you guys fucked up. Were they like clearing House of Jeter's people? I don't get it.
I don't know. I can honestly say Miami has never made a player personnel move that has made any sense to me. A player or personnel move. I've never thought to myself, oh yeah, that was a good move by the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, because their outfield at one point could have been or was Ozuna.
It was.
Yelich,
It wasn't
Stanton.
at one. It could have been. It was Marcell Ozuna.
Not to mention
Christian Yelich and Mike Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton.
With JT Realmuto catching.
Yeah. That is a great forgotten guy in that organization.
Yeah, so there, yeah. I agree. I'm probably not gonna not look at that at all.
So we don't know who's gonna start on Saturday for the Red Sox, which is not great. But Houck is pitching tomorrow. Again, if you listen to this, you probably watch the Red Sox, or at least are fans of the Red Sox. Start watching Tanner Houck games. Guys, Tanner Houck's legit. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
Yeah.
Start watching Tanner Houck games.
Yeah. All right, Jack, that's a great way to end it. You have a good weekend. The Red Sox play at 1:30 today, and it's just when you work from
Getaway
home,
day, baby. Let's go.
Yep. Nothing's better.
Nope, you're absolutely right.
So I will.
So that way games will be on. There'll be baseball on in my house all night tonight.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well, I think your boys, the Marlins and Rockies, well, talk about slobber knocker. 7-23 against 8-24. Start at
That's on
noon
a
today.
12. Oh, you know what? I like Edward Cabrera too. I might take a peek
Sure.
at that. I like Edward Cabrera. And I
But
did notice that
105,
Paul
the Yankees and
Blackburn.
Orioles are playing.
Yeah. So just quickly, back to the Red Sox April and subsequent first game in May. They're a game and a half back of both Baltimore and New York.
Mm-hmm.
When, Tom, what does May have to look like to keep you thinking this might be a real thing?
Oh, probably within 3 games of those two teams, because those two teams are really good, and less than 3 games are floating around the wild card.
Yeah, okay.
Because
That's true.
if
The
you start
AL isn't.
falling out on either of those, well, if you fall out of the division, that's one thing. But if you can hang in that wild card spot, now you're talking, what's this team going to do at the deadline? Because we like the stuff going on, but much like I mentioned with the Mariners, you might need to bring a bigger name into that lineup.
Yeah.
Especially if Costas is like not back till July.
Well, I mean, there's an interesting thing that you brought up too, where if Jose Abreu is like available, you know,
Yeah, but if he gets DFA'd,
I don't know, dude. He could get pissed off. He did win an MVP and hit a ball over the scoreboard in center field. Like,
yeah, but
you take a flyer. That's a guy you take a flyer on.
I want to see if he responds to this demotion, because like Alek Manoah didn't respond to it.
No. Alek Manoah wasn't a former MVP or Cy Young, though. He was an
No.
all-star. He was very good. He just had a fall. Yeah, you're right. He did not respond well. But yeah, I guess
worry
that's a good
about
point. But
when you drill down into the baseball savant Jose
seeing a
Abreu
lot of blue.
page,
You're seeing a lot of blue.
there's no red. He's in 1% of 1% for barrel rate at 0. He hasn't
Yikes.
barreled the ball yet. So I don't know. I get what you're saying, but we'll see. Well, it's going to be exciting that they're competitive, because they're 5 games above 500. That's way better than I thought.
Yeah.
All right, Jack. This has been a long one, so I'm going to let you go.
All right. Bye, Tom.